Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Farah Isman Anzah binti Rosli. My mentor number is H20A1135. Our group has conducted a study on acceptance of booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic on senior perception in Kelantan. So, our background of study is the World Health Organization confirmed that COVID-19 was a natural virus after President Donald Trump claimed to have seen proof that it originated in Chinese laboratory at around mid-December in 2019. COVID-19 is a serious global infection disease outbreak with nearly 550,000 cases and around 25,000 deaths worldwide. According to a statement from World Health Organization, states that COVID-19 will have symptoms to be affected such as a fever, sore throat, cough, and fatigue, difficult to breathe or milk, pneumonia, organ failure, and possible to death. According to a statement from the Malaysia Minister of Health in 2022, Khairi Jamaluddin said individuals who have completed the vaccine dose twice should take a booster dose, especially for the high risk like senior citizens. All vaccination can be obtained at any near winter vaccination center (PPV). This statement can also be further strengthened by a statement from WHO through the scientific advisory group for emergencies, recommending that all individuals aged from 60 and above should take a booster dose is to maintain complete vaccination status. Next, COVID-19 is more contagious than SARS or MERS-CoV, and more importantly, it can spread undetected because many persons with COVID-19 are asymptomatic or have a very minor symptom. They may not be isolating themselves properly, allowing the illness to spread. So the next point is about our problem statement in our research. Both vaccine and boost mean there are much lower risk of becoming seriously ill or going to hospital if you catch COVID-19, as well as a lower risk of dying. Many people are debating whether or not to receive their COVID-19 booster. Certain individuals accept that they have protective accept their two antibodies dose, and this is adequate. So, in these studies, the problem statement that arises is the acceptance or not acceptance of COVID-19 booster vaccine in senior citizens. According to the Malaysian Minister of Health, Khairi Jamaluddin stated that there is no compulsion in taking booster dose for senior citizens. They are given the choice of either taking or not pounding a booster dose to further increase their level of health protections. Next of our problem statement is, in this point can be further strengthened when Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin state that as many as 45% did not take a booster dose. This due to the lack of knowledge about the effectiveness of booster dose, fear of missing booster dose vaccine that may have side effect on their body and others. The explanation from Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin at the COVID-19 development press conference stating that the senior citizens are taking less booster in due to the existence of illegal and false news spread about this adverse effect, which is a more categorized as an anti-vaccine group. Lastly is our problem statement is our immune system become less vaccine, including booster for protection. There are also several vaccine preventable diseases that are particularly widespread and deadly in older persons, such as shingles and influenza. So in our research group studies, we have a research question. The first one is, what is the link between perceived benefit after receiving booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic on the senior citizen perception in Kelantan. The second research question is, what is the relationship between perceived severity for receiving a booster injection COVID-19 for senior citizen perception in Kelantan? And the last one of our research question is, what is the relationship between the perceived barrier of receiving the booster injection COVID-19 for senior citizen perception in Kelantan? In this studies, our research objective is to determine the relationship between the perceived benefit after receiving booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic on the senior citizen perception in Kelantan. And the second, our research objective is to determine the relationship between the perceived severity of receiving a booster injection COVID-19 on the senior citizen perception in Kelantan. And the last one is to determine the relationship between the perceived barrier of receiving the booster injection COVID-19 on the senior citizen perception in Kelantan.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Atika binti Amran, metric number H20A1486. I will present about the scope of study in Chapter 1. The acceptance injection booster among senior citizens in Kelantan during COVID-19. According to the research, we more focus on the injection booster COVID-19 and get or use the information, facts, explanation through the analytical research that already available. We will be able to analyze all the information according to the aspect we did in this study in order to further strengthen our study. This information can help us in summarizing all the important information and improve in the study. Next, significance of study. The significance of study is about the acceptance injection booster among senior citizens in Kelantan. Senior citizens with comorbidity are now eligible to receive a second COVID-19 booster shot. Recommendation from the Technical Working Committee under the COVID-19 immunity test for booster, senior citizens with comorbidity can receive their second booster doses 4 to 6 months after their first booster. Moreover, this includes risk perception of the disease and vaccination history. After that, the significance of this study is to identify knowledge regarding COVID-19 vaccination booster. Next, we go to definition of terms. Perceived benefit, something that produce good or helpful result or effect, promote well-being. Positive impact, contribution of research to knowledge, economy, individual and society. It can provide important information about disease stress and risk factor, outcome of treatment or public health. Next, perceived severity, individual subjective perception of a disease serious state, which is influenced by a range of factors. Other than that, demonstrated a high perceived severity of disease cause proactive health protection behaviors. Lastly, perceived barrier, defined as a person estimation of the level of challenge of social, personal, environmental, and economic obstacle to a specific behavior or their desired goal status on that behavior. Lastly, summary for the Chapter 1. This research is providing early insight about the acceptance injection booster among senior citizens in Kelantan. The research identified how the acceptance injection booster among senior citizens during COVID-19. The purpose of this research is to study effect booster for high-risk senior citizens in Kelantan. Booster shot is for high-risk senior citizens. They must be aged 60 years old and above. This finding can help the service of well-being to anticipate future to increment immunization take-up that may ultimately prompt group resistance against SARS-CoV-19.
Chapter 2 will discuss the dependent variable, the independent variables, the relationship between all the dependent variables, hypothesis and conceptual framework. This research also gathers information about senior citizens and identifies the factor why some of them are not interested in taking this booster provided by the government. With the worst of the dangers behind us, sign and a return to pre-pandemic times are emerging. COVID-19 bans are being paced down in certain locations such as Florida, Texas, and the United Kingdom, while others are being modified to meet local needs. Dependent variable. A dependent variable is a variable whose values is influenced by the value of an independent variable. It is the dependent variable in a scientific experiment, since it is the variable being tested. The dependent is the willingness to take the booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic on senior citizens in Kelantan. The Malaysia government intends to get the COVID-19 vaccine through a variety of organizations and projects in order to vaccine at least 70% of the country populations. Malaysia was also in the fourth month of the national vaccination deployment at this point, and the COVID-19 vaccine was becoming more widely available. Antecedents of dependent variable. An antecedent variable is one that happened before the independent and dependent variables under investigations and may assist explain their relationship. During these antecedents, the resources include age, gender, education status, income category, presence of any chronic diseases, history of being affected with COVID-19, history of member of the family, friends being affected with COVID-19. The majority, 86% of respondents who are attended college of university agree with the finding that vaccination acceptability was higher among persons with higher incomes and academic level. Researchers will collect all the knowledge about senior citizen willingness about injection booster.
Hello sir and everyone, I am Prina from Balakrishnan. My metric number is H20A1715. Today I am going to present about the chapter 2, which is in literature review part on independent variable 1 and 2 and 3. I am going to explain about the first idea, which is the perceived benefit. The theme of the perceived benefit is describe how people interpret the advantage effect of the practical action. The base of perceived advantage is wisely used in behavior medicine to describe a person's reason for engaging in a behavior and choosing an intervention of course of the therapy. For example, a human choose about the advantage of getting the mammogram, such as having a mammogram, will help them identify the breast plump yearly. An example of the previous benefit of the mammogram screening, cited by Champion 1999. In that scene, the COVID-19 booster injection reduced the chance of the getting really sick and kicking the bucket, such as the human is better protected. Vaccinated people can still get sick, so retaining is not 100%. The effect on the body should be significantly lower. The booster injection also prevents you from getting the really sick, regardless of whether you get the infection. The COVID-19 booster injection is protected and powerful. By getting the booster shot yourself, you are also protecting those around you. It's a safety way to build the immunity. Now I'm going to present about the second idea, which is the perceived severity. As indicated by the health belief model, an individual's view of an illness, important or seriousness, is related to such as seems seriousness. Medical outcomes such as death or disability or individual perception about how the illness may affect their life can also be used to identify the severity. For example, some people choose not to be having the flu spot in spite of the public health guideline. They are probably aware that they are susceptible to the flu, but they are making that it will not be the serious. Based on the previous research, perceived severity will happen when they are got booster injection in based on the research on the understanding and experience human increase the irritation of the sickness. For example, cardiovascular illness and side effects such as rashes. The third idea is perceived the barriers. The definition of the perceived barriers is self-awareness, measure an individual capacity to participate in vaccination. Perceived barriers describe the problem that exclude even them from doing so and sign to action the internal or external sign or information that encourage someone to get the vaccinator. For example, a man getting his first colonoscopy may underestimate the amount of the pain of the discomfort he will likely feel, which is May 19 lead into put off the videoing the procedure. Earlier conducted a study due to the COVID-19 vaccination side effect, accessibility, and nominal social media information regarding the vaccination. The respondents perceived the barriers to adopting it. The majority believe that getting the vaccination should protect them from getting the COVID-19 infection as well as others. This is the line with the other researchers from the different nations. Thank you. That's all from me. I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
Hi, I will continue the presentation. Before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Ainun Syafiqah Fauzilan. My metric number is H20A1068. So, I will present the relationship between perceived benefit, perceived severity, and perceived variance. The relationship between perceived benefit and the acceptance of booster injection will give the effect on senior citizens in Kelantan. The administration of a booster dose is able to stimulate the immune response and increase the neutral antibody of the individual in fighting the virus. Second, the relationship between the perceived severity and the acceptance of booster injection will give the effect on senior citizens is pain and sign of redness in the injection part are common side effects that go away on 2 or 3 days after the injection. Lastly, the relationship between perceived variance and the acceptance of booster injection have a variance on senior citizens in Kelantan. Some people spread the false information, which is one of the reasons why some seniors are afraid to obtain booster injections. A hypothesis ought to be respondable, testable, and take into account available knowledge and methods. It suggests that an independent variable and a dependent variable has a predictable connection. So for hypothesis 1, there is relationship between perceived benefit and senior citizens' acceptance of booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic in Kelantan. Hypothesis 2, there is a relationship between perceived severity and senior citizens' acceptance of booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic in Kelantan. So hypothesis 3, there is relationship between perceived variance and senior citizens' acceptance of booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic in Kelantan. For the conceptual framework, the independent variable is perceived benefit, perceived severity, and perceived variance, and the dependent variables is willingness to take the booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic on senior citizens in Kelantan.
Summary. This chapter examines all the adults' attitudes with injection booster in Malaysia. Government decision makers and individuals are all subjected to varied types of deceptions in lines with the study, and media and public health professionals are held in the common of teaching instead of clarifying their audience into complaints. Management should ensure their effort to shield people who are vulnerable now to do not come at the expense of these who are vulnerable later, like children who are education has been disrupted, young adults who are economic prospects are affected, and non-COVID-19 patients who are treatment are disrupted. Democracies are stronger when choices are made publicly and voters are generally well informed, and also the COVID-19 decision-making process shouldn't be except from these principles.
Hi, my name is Siti Rosemah Chomli. My metric number is H20A1812. I will present for chapter 3. First, introduction. This chapter describe and explore the approach and the process used to educate people about booster shot and determine their attitude about them. The research design, population and sample, sampling technique, instrument and data analysis were all the part of this study. A summary is also included in this chapter.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Safia Rafliza binti Buang. My metric number is H20A1706 and I'm from Group 18. Now I will explain about the research design. We use the quantitative approach and also create a causal or experimental research design to solve this topic. Besides, our research are trying to figure out what the important information that can influence the senior citizens to take or not the booster injection during the COVID-19 pandemic. Causal or experimental research is a type of study design that is used to collect evidence of a cause and effect relationship between two or more variables, where one or more variables are dependent and the rest are independent. Next, the population and sample about our topic is according to data from the Department of Statistics Malaysia. It is estimated that the total population of Kelantan citizens in 2020 is 133,560 million, and of this number there are 204,581,000 Kelantan who are senior citizens. Besides, from the number of senior citizens in Kelantan, this shows that there are a handful of them who take the booster injection during the COVID-19 and also have some who do not take it. This total population helps to conduct studies in obtaining information, accurate information, and analyzing information more clearly and in-depth. A total of 200 samples were used to get the information to our research.
Next, sampling technique. Probability sampling method and not probability sampling method are two types of sampling technique. In this study, the probability sampling method, often known as stratifying sampling, was applied. According to this strategy, a probability sampling approach is used to randomly choose the final subject proportionally from each stratum after the researcher divide the overall population into various subgroups or strata. This research will focus on Kelantan, Malaysia. This is due to the increase of 204,581 people in Malaysia's senior citizen population in 2020-22, making it difficult to collect that much data. The research team chose to use 200 seniors as a simple size for stratifying sampling.
After that, the instrument to our topic is questionnaire is a research tool that consists of a series of questions designed to collect data from our respondents and also consists of a set of questions for the purpose of gathering information from respondents to survey or statistical study. The question given is very simple and straightforward to make it easier for our respondents to answer and understand the question given. Personal interview by face-to-face consists of administering structured questionnaire where client interviewers ask fixed choice questions in a consistent format. To complete our research, we choose the Likert scale assumes that the strength or intensity of an attitude is linear, such as on a continuum from strongly agree to strongly disagree, and make the assumption that attitudes can be measured. Typically, Likert scale provides 5 possible answers to statement that allows respondents to indicate their strength of agreement or disagreement regarding to the question given. For the first, our independent variable is perceived bias. We state the questions to make the respondents can answer this statement clearly. Perceived benefits more focus on the effectiveness of booster injections in reducing disease severity among the senior citizens, and the questions we given are belief boosters will be effective over earlier circulate variants if they are accessible in the future, strengthens antibodies in the body, and feel safer after taking booster injection. For the second independent variable is perceived severity. We first avoid some potentially negative outcome from the use of these medicines and accept that there is a chance that it happens to us. The questions we create are variants COVID-19 can cause more severe illness than the existing strains, affecting pain at the injection site, and the body feels very tired. For the third independent variable is perceived barriers, defined as a person's estimation of the level of challenge of social, personal, environmental, and economic obstacles to a specified behavior of their desired goal status on that behavior. The questions we designed to make the respondents can answer clearly are worried about the serious adverse reaction after taking booster injections, easy to believe invalid information about the booster injections, and lack of awareness and knowledge in booster injections requirement.
Next, data analysis. The primary data will be analyzed numerically using SPSS Vision 25. The researcher used descriptive statistic, reliability test, and percent correlation to assess quantitative data. First, descriptive statistic. Descriptive statistically analysis is a type of statistically analysis that summarize, describe, and present data in the form that is easy to comprehend from Brian 2070. The researcher employed descriptive analysis to determine the amount of collaboration in this study. The researcher may present data more simply and effectively using descriptive analysis strategy. Data can be manipulated in order to get variable and relevant information. Table show illustrated the proportion of participants who disagree or agree with assertion for 4 independent variables and 1 independent variable. Scale 1 to 4 represent the degree to which strongly disagree to disagree. Table 5 represent natural, and the scala 6 to 10 represent agree to strongly agree. Next, reliability test. Dependability refers to consistency with which a scala produces consistent finding after several measurements. Conch alpha is the most frequency method for measuring a factor overall internal consistency. This table shows the relationship with coefficient. A reading at less than 0.6 is the poor. When the reading at level 0.6 and less than 0.7 is the moderate. When the reading at 0.7 and less than 0.8, the strength is good. For the strength is very good when the value is 0.8 and less than 0.9, and the strength is excellent when the number is 0.9. Next, percent correlation. The strength of the linear link between two variables is got by the percent correlation coefficient. The high correlation denotes a significant relationship between two or more independent variables, whereas a low correlation suggests a weight relationship. Table show the relationship between the coefficient and strength. A perfect negative correlation when the value is -1, and the perfect positive correlation by 1, and no correlation at all by a correlation coefficient is 0, and negative 0.8 strongly negative and 0.8 strongly positive, when negative 0.2 is weirdly negative and 0.2 is weirdly positive.
Summary of this chapter 3, the researcher will go through all of the elements and important things of the research approach in this study. The main goal to this study will use a quantitative method and the focus populations in senior citizens in Kelantan, which is a 200 sample size from them. The researcher used personal interviews to help our study to obtain more information, analyze data, and other than that. This interview is more to close-ended. That means give our respondents to easy and quick answer the question that has provided, and a response choices make the questions clear.